Hello everybody and what is up? Welcome back to another video. I'm sorry if I haven't filmed in a while. I was sick, but I'm back. But unfortunately, I'm going to be taking another break from filming, which I will get into more at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, today I will be reacting to the top 20 most relatable Disney villains. But before I start, remember to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which Disney villain you can relate to the most. Now, without further ado, let's get started.
I really felt quite distressed at not receiving an invitation.
You weren't wanted.
Not what?
Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 most relatable Disney villains.
You know, I haven't been this choked up since I got a hunk of moussaka caught in my throat. Huh?
For this list, we'll be looking at the studio's animated antagonists that we most identify with or understand. Motivations and plot points will be discussed, so beware of spoilers ahead. Which villain is the most like you? Let us know in the comments. Number 20, John Silver, Treasure Planet. Pirates are known as dangerous.
Wow, they're talking about it. They're starting off with a villain from a movie I've never seen. I'm a big fan of Disney, but Treasure Planet is on my must-watch list.
How'd that happen anyway?
You give up a few things, chasing a dream.
He's so desperate that he even commits mutiny against his ship's captain. But he's not as evil as he seems. He's just a man who seeks freedom and riches, and isn't as violent as many other villains in pursuit of those goals. In fact, he even reprimands his own crew for being so bloodthirsty. And let's not forget that he sacrifices a fortune to save Jim Hawkins. He may be a criminal, but he values his friendships just like the rest of us.
You gave up?
There's good and bad in everybody.
Number 19, Captain Gantu, Lilo and Stitch. Many villains are motivated by hatred.
Another
or
movie from
selfishness,
2002.
The average viewer struggles to relate to, but Gantu doesn't seem to have much of either. When Rogue Experiment 626 escapes to Earth, the captain of the Galactic Federation is sent to eliminate the threat.
This could be your chance to redeem yourself, Captain Gantu. How soon will you be prepared to leave?
Immediately.
We eventually learn that Stitch is actually capable of empathy and kindness, but everyone else in the universe sees him as an extreme danger. So if we were in Gantu's shoes, we might pursue Stitch at first too. He was trying to do the right thing, which he's later...
Well, you shouldn't jump to conclusions. Nobody should.
It is rough, especially if you were just doing the job you were asked to do. We feel for you, Gantu.
Grand Councilwoman, let me explain.
Silence! I am retiring you, Captain Gantu.
Number 18, Henry J. Waternoose, Monsters
Ooh,
Inc.
now they're finally talking about an
Monsters,
evil
Inc. The screams
boss.
of children are used to power cities, but high demand and brave kiddos puts the city of Monstropolis in a crisis. This forces Monsters Inc.'s CEO to use a sinister alternative.
Kidnapping children.
Waternoose and Randall planned to forcefully extract children's screams.
Finally, I never should have trusted you with this. Because of you, I had to banish my top scarer.
With this machine, we won't need scarers.
We obviously don't condone his crimes, but one
Nobody does.
Left with few options. And who among us hasn't made mistakes when we're desperate? His company is the only thing keeping the
We
lights
sure
on
have.
after all. Without it, the few...
I actually have a story to tell about a time I made a bad decision when I was desperate. I was running so fast to a rest stop because I really had to go that I got hurt.
future of monster civilization wouldn't look so bright. We can only guess how badly he was affected by that weight on his shoulders.
You can't arrest me. I hope you're happy, Sullivan. You destroyed this company. Monsters Incorporated is dead. Where will everyone get their scream now? The energy crisis will only get worse because of
Number 17, Stinky Pete the Prospector, Toy
Ooh.
Story 2.
And he
Woody
foreshadowed the
Woodley's
third
fear of
one.
abandonment is a pretty relatable part of this film. Despite that, they're still ultimately willing to face it for a chance at happiness. But that's not something Stinky Pete the Prospector wants to do. After years of being ignored by kids, Pete makes it his life's goal to be immortalized in a toy museum.
This isn't fair.
Fair? I'll tell you what's not fair. Spending a lifetime on a dime store shelf watching every other toy be sold. Well, finally my waiting is paid off.
He takes it too far when he tries to refrain his friends from leaving, but we can empathize with his reasons. They're clearly a result of his desire to finally be seen, and that's something so many of us can relate to. Plus, being appreciated by thousands in a toy museum doesn't
I find Lotso more relatable than
Children, destroy
Stinky
your toys!
Pete,
You'll
but that's probably because his motives are having other people feel his pain. Comment below which one of the villains in the Toy Story franchise you find most relatable. Sid's up there too, because I think the reason he tortures toys is as a cry for help, because his family, we never see his family spend a lot of time with him. I mean, his mom's okay with explosives going off in her backyard? Well, I mean, in the movie, she doesn't know about it. But, so, it's pretty clear that his parents, we never see that his parents don't want to spend a lot of time with him.
be ruined, forgotten, spending eternity rotting in some land.
And that foreshadowed the third
Number
one.
16, Shere Khan, The Jungle Book.
Yeah, because he's a tiger, an animal on the endangered species list. Because of us, mankind. Putting animals on the endangered list. We exist to destroy our own planet.
He hates man. And she had
Which
no
makes
right
sense.
to allow you to grow up to become a man. Just another hunter with a gun.
Anyone who's seen the horrors
Ooh.
of poaching can certainly understand why he would feel this way. And like
Yup.
fellow villains Maleficent and Cruella, Shere Khan is fleshed out further in a live-action film. In 2016,
They're not wrong.
Book, his hatred of humans is nearly justified when Mowgli mistakenly sets the jungle ablaze. He does prove to be better than his human counterparts, but we totally get how Shere Khan could see them as a threat.
Come now, use the red flower. Use it on me like your father did. Show everyone what you really are.
Number 15, Randall Boggs, Monsters
What?
Inc.
They're talking about the other villain in Monsters, Inc.? Well, maybe they'll mention him in Monsters University.
Some serious scaring.
Comment below which one of the two movies you think is
When
better.
we first meet this monster, he competes with Sully to become the top scarer. He's a sore loser about it, but wouldn't you be a little competitive if you always came in second place? Even more so if you
I'm pretty
losing
sure
to
we
the
all
same
would.
person? Then in the prequel film Monsters University, we learn even more about Randall. During his freshman year, he was a timid nerd who wanted to be cool.
Randy! Randy, thank goodness. I need you on my team. Oh, sorry. I'm already on a team.
But
I'm finally in with the cool kids, Mike. Don't blow this for me.
And he couldn't cope with James P. Sullivan threatening his chance at that, which we get. Of course, the big blue monster would eventually change for the better, and Randall ultimately gets carried away in his villainy. But we can't say we wouldn't hold a grudge too. Number 14, Chef Skinner, Ratatouille. Head
Ooh.
chef and owner of Gusteau's is driven by greed, but his actions aren't all that bad. Obviously, we side with Remy as soon as the film starts, so it's easy to forget.
Yeah, we side with a rat over a human.
Understandably doesn't trust. We sympathize.
I can't be constantly checking for a yes or no headshake from a rat. The rat.
I saw it.
Rat?
Yes, a rat right next to you.
Who would want a pest anywhere in their vicinity, let alone in a kitchen? Plus, he must have proven himself to
They're
be
not
a
wrong.
restaurant, and Remy and Linguini result in
You guys should see me when wasp build nests in my garage. But this is about a rat. Oh,
taken away from him.
the only time we would actually like rats is if they knew how to cook in real life. I wish rats could cook in real life.
Skinner goes a bit too far, but None of us would want an inexperienced stranger who's secretly scheming with a rat jeopardizing our life's work.
They're not wrong.
A rat infestation. It's taken over my Gusto's restaurant.
Number 13, Gabby Gabby.
Oh, they are talking about another Toy Story villain.
For just one of those moments.
But at least she actually redeems herself.
Anything to be loved the way you have.
I'm glad Woody gave her
Gabby Gabby
his
is
voice
far from being
box.
evil. She just got dealt a rough hand, which many can identify with. The doll is desperate to be cared for by a child and intends to accomplish that by replacing her voice box. Her goal is so understandable that it even convinces Woody to sacrifice his own part to help. Even though she's discarded by the girl she was hoping would take her, Gabby Gabby eventually gets what she always wanted. Her desire for love is something we can all relate to.
I couldn't find you. And then I found this doll. You did? Her name is Gabby Gabby.
And her ability to pick herself up after being rejected teaches a great lesson in how dreams can be achieved, sometimes differently than you expect. Number 12, Michael Goob.
Just like when I win different prizes out of crane games and what I really want. Yesterday, I played a candy crane game, and I really wanted to win a Twix bar, but instead, I won an Almond Joy. I mean, they're not bad, but I like Twix bars better, but now they're talking about another villain. Goob.
Goobian, aka Bowler Hat Guy. Meet the Robinsons.
Game didn't go so well, huh?
No, I fell asleep in the ninth inning, and I missed the winning catch. Then I got beat up. Afterwards, Coach took me aside and told me to let it go.
In his youth, Goob was the roommate to child genius Lewis Robinson. Lewis's inventions would keep him awake at bedtime. This, in turn, basically ruined his life.
We'd be holding grudges against anybody who would ruin our lives.
Many can relate to Lewis's inability to leave the past behind, but we also can't help but feel especially sorry for Goob, who only...
That's why I started this channel. I mean, there'd be people who wouldn't understand me talking about the 2010s. I mean, I was saying the names of every La Loopsy doll to my mom, and she wasn't too happy, so I decided to start this channel in hopes that of you guys, you know, with the 2010s and everything. And now I have 81 subscribers, so thank you all for 81 subscribers.
Ever wanted some shut-eye.
If I hadn't fallen asleep, I would have caught the ball, and we would have won. Do you understand?
For some reason, no one wanted to adopt me.
It is true that his plans aren't completely justified, but he can't be expected to think clearly when he's stuck on childhood trauma he never processed. At the end of the day, he turned bad because he couldn't get a good night's rest. Okay, that might be a slight oversimplification, but we've all had days like that.
We
Number
sure
11,
have.
Ursula, the Little Mermaid. From the moment
Well,
she appears
I
on
doubt
screen,
they'd
we identify
mention
Ursula's
the
wit
the
and sarcasm.
remake,
Her spiel
Disney's
about how
latest
great kids were
remake.
back in her day isn't unfamiliar to us on a personal level either. All those qualities make her pretty hard.
I'm glad they decided to make her and King Triton sisters. But I wonder if they'll mention Morgana. I mean, if you guys don't remember, she wanted to avenge Ursula's death.
To root against.
Without my voice, how can I? You had your looks, your pretty face, and don't underestimate the importance of body language.
We're meant to see Ariel as the victim of Ursula's schemes, but the villain technically never breaks the
I'm glad she was less reluctant to sign the contract in the remake.
contract. Additionally, Ursula doesn't force Ariel to put herself in danger. The Sea Witch merely sees an opportunity for power and takes it. Who hasn't been tempted to get ahead in life? Now, we admit the whole wanting to usurp the king stuff was a lot, but if you ignore that, Ursula feels like part of the gang.
The daughter of the great sea king is a very
Yep.
precious commodity. I might be willing to make an exchange for someone even better.
Number 10. Sid Phillips.
They are. Oh, and I bet they're gonna mention every villain in the Toy Story franchise.
Let's go home and play. Sure, harming toys isn't great, but it's important to remember that Sid doesn't know that they're alive. That makes a
He
big
did find out at
difference.
the end.
If you've ever played rough with your own dolls, you can surely put yourself in his shoes. Sid even shows
I
off
did
his
by accident.
He combines toy parts to create new playthings. Anyone who's in the hobby of toy collecting knows that making custom action figures is pretty common. At the end of the day, Sid is just a lonely boy with some issues that need managing. He's not some evil mastermind, and we're betting his general experience isn't too hard to relate to for most. Number 9.
Old Spice shampoos are scientifically crafted to help make men's hair look thicker, healthier, and more moisturized. That's because they're blended with the perfect mix of cleansing and conditioning ingredients for men's hair. Try Old Spice shampoos today and rescue your hair.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Is that a mini car? Oh my god. Rated PG-13.
Number 9. Jafar, Aladdin.
Ooh. Imagine you guys with who want to go above your bosses at work, or especially if your bosses are mean.
Thus, he becomes the most powerful sorcerer in the world and ruler of Agrabah. Be honest, if you had 3 wishes, you'd probably ask for wealth and power too. Of course, Jafar completely misuses this power and
That would be one thing I'd ask for, as well as ending world hunger.
has sinister beliefs, and that's a no-no. But his reasons make a little bit of sense, considering how his boss is the Sultan, who doesn't quite exude total competence sometimes. We can sort of understand the villain's frustration. Overall, while we disagree with Jafar's actions, his ambition, humor, and desire for wish fulfillment are all things we're familiar with.
What have you done?
Trust me. The universe is mine to command, to control.
Number 8. Captain Hook, Peter Pan. It's easy to view Captain Hook as a hateable villain we have little in common with.
That's why Peter Pan is one of those movies we can't look at the same way as kids versus adults. You reverse the roles, the story wouldn't be too different.
Crocodile after him.
Did Pan show good form when you did this to me?
They never say why Peter Pan fed his hand to a crocodile.
This makes Hook pretty sympathetic, and his hatred for Peter even more so. Pretty much everyone has been wronged by someone at one time or another, while most of us don't pursue arguments quite as intensely as Hook. It's not hard to identify when you consider the circumstances.
Well.
I never got my revenge anyway like Captain Hook did, but I have to admit, I've gotten my revenge on people in pretty crazy ways. I've drawn bad pictures of them, and one time I cursed somebody. I actually tried the candle trick. You guys might know what I'm talking about, you know, where you light a candle and just say your revenge fantasy. The craziest thing was, I wanted my ankle sprain to happen to somebody else. So I guess you could say it did backfire.
Codfish on a hook. I'll get you for this, Pan. If it's the last thing I do.
Number 7. Maleficent, Sleeping Beauty.
How is she not? She should be closer to number 1.
I had hoped it was really due to some oversight. Well, in that event, I'd best be...
At least it gets revealed why she wasn't invited in the 2014 remake that focuses on her.
Commands an evil army and turns into a dragon. But her desire to be included is what we see in ourselves. On the day of Princess Aurora's christening, Maleficent struts into the event despite not having an invite, making her presence extra known. She enacts revenge by cursing young Aurora.
Before the sun sets on her 16th birthday, she shall prick her finger on the spindle of a spinning wheel and die.
Her reaction is extreme, but being kept out of the loop can be painful. Have you ever been excluded from an event's guest list? Well, imagine that, but with the added dig of the entire town being invited except for you.
Ooh.
That's gotta hurt. Number 6. Syndrome. The Incredibles. Any kid would dream of being a sidekick in a world of superheroes. Given Buddy Pine's intelligence and desire to help, he might have had that chance if not for his idol. Mr. Incredible dismisses Buddy's dream of becoming a hero early on.
This is because I don't have powers, isn't it? Well, not every superhero has powers, you know. You can be super without them. I invented these. I can fly. Can you fly?
Fly home, buddy. I work alone.
This hurts him so badly that he takes the name Syndrome and eliminates a plethora of supers. It's a sinister goal, but he also wants to give everyone powers. Who wouldn't want to fly?
That's not evil, giving everyone powers, but he does try to get revenge on Mr. Incredible.
Time of day, or at the very least, let him down easy.
What did you say to me?
Fly home, buddy. I work alone.
It tore me apart, but I learned an important lesson.
But they're right, he is one of the most relatable villains. Anybody would try to get revenge on somebody for rejecting them.
On anyone, especially your heroes.
Number 5. Scar, the Lion King.
Ooh, sibling rivalry. A villain whose hatred is fueled by sibling rivalry. I'm glad they reveal his backstory in The Lion Guard. And it was through another song, too.
Anyone who's ever been upstaged by a sibling, or really any relative, might know how bad that can feel. It's certainly not enough to make us want to hurt them, but it's a terrible feeling nonetheless. Scar's jealousy is especially relatable, knowing that he's the one with the wit and charisma.
Well, as far as brains go, I got the lion's share when it comes to brute strength.
I have a younger brother, but we're 7 years apart, so our rivalry isn't that bad. The only things we pretty much fight over is, you know, who gets in the shower first. When I was sick, he had first dibs, and I was pretty upset because I needed to get in there to open my sinuses. But I know that's different than the rivalry in the movie.
I'm afraid I am at the shallow end of the dream.
I'm sure we've all heard this quote. Why can't you be more like your... If you guys have older siblings, you've done this. I don't have any older siblings. Or any sibling who's better than you. Why can't you be more like them?
Not disputing that he went about the situation in entirely the wrong way. Still, his envy and insecurity are understandable.
One of the 7
Number
deadly
4,
sins.
Edgar Balthazar, the Aristocats.
Who would leave money for cats? What would cats even do with money anyway?
Those cats have got to go.
He doesn't come close to being one of the best Disney villains. That's mainly due to how non-threatening he is. But that just makes Edgar Balthazar extremely relatable. The butler has been in the rich Madame Bonfami's employ for ages. With no one to inherit her wealth, you'd think the loyal servant would receive her fortune. But no, turns out the cats are first in line before him.
Yes, sure. I simply wish to have the cats inherit first. Then, at the end of their lifespan, my entire estate will revert to Edgar.
Edgar obviously isn't happy about this and spends the film trying to get rid of the pets. First abandoning them in the countryside before trying to send them to another country. We'd never dream of harming cats, though in his shoes, we definitely want that inheritance. Number 3, Mother Gothel, Tangled.
Wow, someone who doesn't want to age. They're not wrong. If any of you guys are old and watching this, she's probably the most relatable villain to you guys.
Natural part of life. While we know it's completely normal and even good, it can
Good?
be hard to embrace
Well, I mean, maybe it's good for you kids. If you guys are kids and watching this, maybe it's good for you guys. But
unfortunately probably be just as desperate to.
if maybe not for some of you, you really old people who have all those medical problems we all associate. That's how some people died from COVID, and I lost a grandparent to COVID in August of 2021.
Get a hold of it as Mother Gothel is. When the villainess finds a magical flower that keeps her young, she keeps it hidden away. Eventually, she resorts to kidnapping to maintain said youth. We don't endorse it, but Gothel does make not aging look appealing, until she meets an ugly fate, that is.
It's not.
Number 2.
Comment below how you think Gen Z is gonna be, what old Gen Z is gonna be like, and how long you think they'll live. Because there was a time when the lifespan was a lot shorter and everything. We're probably gonna end up like the society in Wall-E. Because everybody's getting electronics fresh out of the womb.
Yzma, the Emperor's New Groove.
I have been nothing if not lost
Who?
for many years.
We'd be wanting to go after anyone who fires us.
You just hit yours 50 years ago.
We talked about how Jafar has a pretty incompetent boss that kind of makes us feel for him, but Yzma's situation makes us feel even more sorry for her. She spent
They're not
years
wrong.
as a skilled scientist, surrogate parent, and advisor to Cusco, but he catches her taking charge of the country's dealings without acknowledge once, which leads to her being
One time!
her ambition.
And she got fired.
Being an angel, but if you've ever been overqualified and underappreciated at work, chances are you can understand her hatred of Cusco and see some of yourself in her.
Does he, a little to the left, have any idea of who he's dealing with? How could he do this to me? Why, I practically raised him.
I think he would have turned out better.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Hades. Hercules.
Oh, Hades is number 1. Oh, because he's jealous that Zeus has a better job than him. I'm sure we'd all be jealous if somebody had a better job than us.
Relatable bad guys out there. James Woods is
If you guys hate your jobs and you're watching this, comment below if you think I'm better than you guys. Not that I'm famous or anything.
Hades comes off as a threatening yet surprisingly down-to-earth villain. Even as we're shaking our heads no at his evil doing, his sarcastic dialogue never fails to make us go, same.
Can't believe you're getting so worked up about some guy.
This one is different. He's honest and he's sweet.
Please.
He would never do anything to hurt me.
He's a guy.
He also deals with a humiliating older brother, a career he doesn't like, inept workers, and anger management issues. All pretty common real-world stuff. Additionally, many of us probably recognize ourselves in his sense of humor. If that's not the peak of relatability, we don't know what is.
Get your Titanic rears in gear and kick some Olympian butt. Whoa, is my hair out?
Do you agree with our...
Okay, that is the end of that video, but before I end mine, I will be making my announcement. So, as many of you guys know, next Monday is the solar eclipse. And my area isn't in totality like it was for the 2017 eclipse. So, I will be traveling to see the eclipse, which will be my next break. So, I'll see you when I come back. And now, I will be ending my video. But before I do, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!